Okay. All right. So we're here to go over the Origins Classic modular table, the large. So basically the 96-inch length, both the 48 and the 56 have the same assembly process. As you can see, if you look around a little bit, we've got all the pieces all around. So this is all, the side rails are all in this one box, along with your pieces here for the extended rails, the additional little bits and chip trays. Your cup holders are here in this larger box. There's a hardware kit in one of the legs when you pull it out. So you're going to want to locate that as well when you start. So the biggest thing is you're going to start on your two large pieces of foam here. So we're going to put this down. So this will get everything set up for the process of putting the larger piece in there, which is the bottom of your table. So you're just going to approximately get those in there. So I have to make this a little bit wider here so that I have a little bit of a gap in between, so that when we put this surface in, you set it in and then you close the rails over, which gives you less likelihood of causing any damage to the finish on the leg. Flip it over, grab it, and you move it over and in. So we're going to supply you with these brackets here, and what these are support brackets for the corners. You're going to get anybody that's we've already shipped the table for. These are not going to be included with the table. We're actually going to be shipping these to you in a separate package, so that you have these for the table build. So you get this, your baseboard on here. That's two-person operation to get that on there. Once you get that on there, what you'll do is you'll just take your rail, you'll slide your rail in so that it goes in the lip here. You'll slide this rail in, and then what you can do is take this support bracket here, place the support bracket on there. You may have to do a little bit of adjustment to get it on, and you got to make sure you got it the right way too. So the support bracket will just go on here in the corner. Start with this side. Just finger tighten them for now. Do not tighten them. Do not tighten it so really far, because you got to go all the way around the table. So I'm just going to bring this over. And start these. And then I'm going to go around to all four corners doing the same exact thing. Starting each bracket on, not tightening it all the way, but just starting it. And then go around the entire table doing this. So the next step you're going to need your hardware kit for, and that is securing the baseboard to the rails. So that's why I had everything still loose and the brackets loose. So you're going to need, out of your hardware kit, the screws and washers in this little baggie, along with the provided Allen wrench. So this is in every hardware kit. We have the little Allen wrench for the tools, for the bolts, and we're going to go ahead and put that in now. So you need a bolt and a washer for every location. So you have to make sure you put the washer on. These go right here in this hole. So then you're going to have to make sure that you get it all lined up. Right there. Make sure you get these lined up for the board. Some of the boards will have little pieces in them. You just got to clean it out real quick. Don't fully tighten them yet. Just make sure you get them all in, because you're going to have slight misalignments as you go down. If the rail is turned just slightly, kind of finesse it a little bit. Make sure you drop them in. That's why you don't fully tighten any of them quite yet. And then when we're done with this, we'll go around and tighten up all the brackets in the corners to make sure that the rigidity on the table is kept. All right, so for the next step, this is kind of the more interesting part. So we've got the table all together. We've got the four brackets in the corner. Now the brackets are there just for structural support when you flip the table over. So what we're going to have to do is, when we flip the table over, to put the legs on, we have to take the brackets off again. And I know that seems like a odd extra step. But for the rigidity of the table, this is a very, very large table. It weighs a little bit, so to help protect the table when we're flipping it over, the brackets are something that we recommend you do, and it's actually, that's why we're including in our instructions. So the next step that we're going to do here is we're going to take the table, we're going to flip it on its side, and then we're going to flip it over. We're going to put it on this cart right here. Our typical method that we recommend is placing the table on top of something like this cart here, or something like that you can easily get in and out of, that will support it up off, so that, and it's tall enough so that you can get the legs here on. So what our next objective here is to get the table flipped over, elevated up so that we can take the bracket off and put the legs on, and then set the table down. Up and over. Okay. So we're going to pick up, shift over to that side, and then he's going to bring the cart in, and then we're going to dump on the cart. So go up, over, cart in. Okay. And you need to be more that way, because we gotta flip over, then pick up. So lean it and pick up. All right, there we go. So the bracket here, the support bracket in the corner, so this adds the rigidity. So what we just did, we just flipped the table, right, without causing any damage to the finish inside of this corner here, inside your play surface. So there's no physical damage to this table at all. We laid it up on its side, the side supported all the weight, and then we rotated it over on top of that. So these brackets are there to support that. So what we're gonna do to get the legs on, you have to take the bracket off. So that's what we're gonna do right now, is take the bracket off. So we're gonna remove that support from the corner.
Could this be done without the bracket, or would you not recommend it?
I would not recommend doing it without the bracket. And the reason for that is the potential, so I can actually flex this here on this board. And what the bracket does is it prevents that flexing. So when that flexes, the corner then scrapes on itself and will cause chips in the paint or damage to the paint in the interior of the table. So you'll be able to see it in the corner. So the bracket strengthens that, so that you can do things like flip it up on its side. So that if you have two people, you know, flip it up on its side, get what you're going to set it on in place, and then you guys can continue to put the table on what you're setting it on to get to this point here where we're raised up off the floor. So we have two legs here, and what you'll see is if you look inside the leg, there's a little sticker on there. It'll say A or B. So the reason for that is we have two different legs. As you can see, there's no hole right here on the B leg, and this hole right here on the A leg. So this is for people that get USBs, so that you can run the USB cables. And if you look down in there, there is a bracket down in there. That is what houses your USB hub. So this is critical to know which side is which. So the two A's are kitty corner from each other. And if you look at the joint right here, you can see there's no hole. These are solid. So this is a B side. So keep that in mind when you're putting your legs on. If there is no hole in the rail, in the side of the rail, that is a B side. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get this over here. So this is the B, this is the A, so my A goes on the other side here.
Can we see the hole for the A?
Yep, so you see the hole right here in the table for the A side. So this is the difference between the two. So this hole will be missing on the B legs. So when you're putting these together, again, it is a bolt and a washer on every side. So you're going to need 4 of them for each leg. So let me get those ready here. And then one of the things you're going to do is you're going to have to do some slight adjustments. Since you put this table together yourself, put the rails on the base, one of the things that you may have to do is some slight adjusting on the rail itself. All right, so we've got the rail. This is still pretty loose. It's not fully tightened down, but what you'll look at here is now you're trying to get this little area right here trying to get that aligned. So what you're going to do is you're going to align to your side rail first, so your long rail first, and then you're going to tighten it down. This rail right here is all set. So just get that hand tight there because that bottom one went a little loose. Now if you have a power tool or something, it works even better, but this is just with the supplied tools that we give you. So I have to make sure that I do this the way you guys are going to be doing it. So there we go. That rail is very nice and tight. See, it's got a nice fit to it. So we come over to this rail here. So what I'm going to do is on my leg here, I'm going to actually break the bolts underneath. I'm going to take these bolts down here and I'm going to loosen these a little bit here. I'm going to loosen all four, and then what that'll do is that'll give me a little bit of adjustment for when I go through and do my other leg over here in case, you know, we have to make any sort of fitment adjustment on it. So now I'm going to get my A leg that's behind me here, get all my bolts ready, and put that leg on. Good. All right, this is the A leg, so we're going to go ahead and hook this up the same way we just did the other side. So you're going to start, you're going to get it up here, and two people would make it easier, one person can still do it. So if you're at this point, it's not a two-person operation to do, but it does make it easier. We got this side all done up, it's all complete, it's put together. So we're going to move on to this side. So as you can see, we have a gap here, we got a little bit of, we got misalignment here on the bottom here, so you can see all this is there. So what we're going to do is we're going to get this aligned. This is something that you may have to do. Again, we loosened, as you can see, we loosened the rail underneath on the bottom to make sure that we can get it put together, and then we're going to go ahead and tighten this. So this will pull in. When it's pulling in, you can do, you know, a little bit of adjustment. You can pull up on it, get it adjusted. So right now I'm pulling up on the armrest and tightening the bolt. Now if you have a tool or something, electric tool, make this easier, but it's not needed. As you can see, you can do it with just, so it's a lot better fit there. So just get the fit finished there. As my hand, I know my hand's in the way of the shot, but we're gonna just tighten this down here. It's really simple. You just have to, a little bit of work at it, you know, because the table isn't pre-assembled, you know, you're assembling it, so a little bit of work and you should be able to get it how you want it to fit. So after you have everything aligned, everything's fit, it's fit the way you want it to, you're going to have to go back in and retighten your bolts that are underneath here and make sure you get those nice and tight so that you basically tighten up the baseboard. Then when you go around, get all the rails aligned, get everything tightened to get it fitting the way you want it to. Then you're just going to make sure everything on the bottom side is tight, and then you're ready to set the table on the floor. So we're going to run through all that. We're going to get to that point, and then we'll bring it back and set it on the floor, and then go over the accessories that came in the box that need to be installed to finalize the table. If you're getting alignment issues, you just can't seem to get the long rail to align to the leg, loosen and make sure you loosen up the ends, make sure all the bolts underneath are thoroughly loose, and then align the leg to the outer rail first and then bring it into the shorter rail. It'll go a lot easier. You'll be able to get it all lined up a lot better in case you're having any issues. So the last thing we're going to do is your leg caps go on. I put those on the table just as an easy access for when we get the legs. So the leg caps go on. You have these pieces here. So inside of this, you have these pieces here. These are your accessory bit trays These are going to go right here in these locations. Right, they come out, you can get them out. There's optional cup holders that go in there. Other accessories do fit in there as well. And then your final box, which I have not opened yet, but your final box here are your cup holders. And those will go in your locations around the table. And then that's the full assembly behind this. Your very, very, very last item is these pieces here. So these right here are easy to install. They're right over here on the bottom of the leg. And these are just little cap pieces that go in here. There you go. That's your last piece that you really need to install. You can install that piece at any time throughout the process. But other than that, that is how the Origins modular table goes in. Your felt board goes in to the table surface here, and that's the basic install of how this all goes together.